Let me ask you this. Are you creating offers and content but hearing crickets? Well, do you feel like you're speaking to everyone but connecting with no one? Well, then this episode is exactly what you need. We're talking about how to build your first 1,000 person tribe and why that tribe is the key to long-term success.
This episode is brought to you by Metricool. From planning to publishing to understanding what's actually working, Metricool gives you data-driven control. And with their built-in AI tools and competitor tracking, you'll stop guessing and start growing. Just click the link in the show notes for 30 free days of premium access and make sure to use the code Katie30. All right, let's get into today's episode.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Today, we're talking with a past guest, but we're talking about something that every entrepreneur needs, but honestly, most overlook until it's too late. And that is building your tribe. Whether you're just starting out or you've been in the game for a while, growing a community of people who know, like, and trust you, it's not optional. It is essential. And with the help of AI, it's more accessible than ever. And joining me today is Catharine O'Leary once again. She's a marketing strategist who's worked with brands like Apple and Pepsi, and she now helps entrepreneurs attract their first 1,000 true fans with smart lead magnets and simple, scalable audience building strategies. Catharine, thanks for coming back on Rocky Mountain Marketing today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Katie. I'm so happy to be back. I love hanging out with you and your peeps.
I know, and you're joining us from up north, north of the border there, and it's a little chilly for you. You and I both enjoy the four seasons that happen in our climates, but I'm sure you're probably ready for some warmer weather.
Yeah, but like it's April, so
Yeah.
like let's move along to like the springtime because it's actually snowing here today. So that I could do without that from now on.
Well, Catherine, you're a genius when it comes to AI, and I'm really excited to talk to you about this topic today because I think that even in this AI world, it's more important than ever to have your tribe. And a lot of entrepreneurs feel like they're just yelling into the void. They're creating the content, they're doing all the things, they're showing up online, but it's not turning into sales. And so tell me, why do you think that is?
I think that there's a few things going on with that. So let's kind of sit down and unpack it. So first of all, I think that AI is a fantastic tool in the toolkit. Just like the internet back in the day, when it first came out, I remember my father and I talking about it, and he's like, "Oh my God, we still need the yellow pages. Like I still need to be in the yellow pages. Like how are people going to find me?" It's like, "Oh, okay." 20 years, 30 years later, it's like, "Wow, not so much." AI, I think is similar to that where, I think that people need to embrace it as a tool. It's not
Mhm.
the end all to be all, and it's not a replacement for human connection. What it
Totally.
allows you to do is automate and systemize certain processes or certain tasks that allow you to have more time for that human to human conversation, which is amazing because that's what people actually want. They want to feel connected. And I know that the World Health Organization has actually named isolation as the new pandemic.
Oh man.
People feel lonely. They feel out of touch. They feel like they're not connecting. And this is, across all ages. So, how do we spend our time actually making those connections as opposed to, I think what we do right now is talk at people a lot.
Mhm.
Here's my value, take it. Here's the things that I can offer you. Like here's me, here's me.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of how you doing? Like what's going on in your world? Like what can we help you with? There's a lot less questioning going on and a whole lot less listening than I think that, and that's coming through in your conversion rates. If you're just talking at people, especially if you're not entirely sure they're your people,
Yeah.
which is where I think the tribe comes in and really, attracting those people who want to be in your world, who want to speak the speak and like, want to kind of geek out on the same kinds of things and people that you can also help in the same, in the same breath. That's awesome. So how do you connect and build that tribe so that you can then serve? But I think that we put content before connection. And I
Oh,
think
I
that
love
it should
that.
be, yeah, I think it should be the opposite way. I think you should connect and then determine the content that you need to share. So not everyone, not even within your ideal client or within your tribe, not everyone needs the exact same information at the exact same time. That's where AI can help with personalization and customization at scale to give to actually deliver content at the right time to the right person. But you gotta connect with that person first. So I think that we're running around shouting into the void, and it's literally we're shouting into the void because we're not trying to talk to one person, right? We're
Yeah.
not trying to connect to that person on the other end of the post. We're just trying to get what, 1 million likes or something like I don't want to connect with 1 million people. That sounds exhausting.
Yeah. I
Like
think
how
that
do
so
I
many people are focused on the likes, on the vanity metrics, on getting more followers, but that's where you focus on building a tribe. So just explain to us really quickly about what the difference is between more followers and actually building that tribe.
well, first of all, followers doesn't mean financing, right? Followers don't buy necessarily. So I'm not a big fan of a anytime that you call it a vanity metric, that should be the signal, right? Like if you're a business owner, don't track the vanity metrics, right? Track how many people have you talked to, how many people have you connected with, are they engaged, and are you having meaningful conversations, and then are you converting? So I think that followers is very passive. I can follow a whole bunch of people without having any intention of going further because they're not people to me, right? It's just content that's interesting. And the thing is that content or information that is interesting is that's nice. It's a commodity, right? If you can implement and you can make an impact with those insights, that's where people start to convert, right?
Totally.
So just having information out there, you can get that on YouTube, you can get it, you can information is available. It's a commodity. Don't play the commodity game. How do people actually use the information to better their lives? And in order to answer that, I think that you have to have some sort of connection,
I,
right? And some sort of a shared, oh, I understand, I get it. This is like, this is how we can help. And I think that if we start concentrating more on the super niche, almost like more on the who's like, I don't need a stadium full of people. I need my 100.
mhm.
Like how do I you know, talk to the people that I can serve with content and with intent. Because I don't think
Yeah.
that, we can serve with intent to that many people. I mean, I think it's just, I think that that's a little heroic, if you
Yeah.
will.
So, you teach people how to the thousand true fans. Why do you think that that's so powerful?
So so this is a little bit where the art meets science of online marketing and online businesses. That 1,000 person tipping point, that's where for a business having a list that size, and every business should be building their list, but having a list that size allows you to then start partnering with other people that might have your tribe, right? So people that are talking to the people that you want to be talking to. So by being able to cross promote or being part of a giveaway or being part of a summit, places where where the expectation is that you're promoting the event and getting people, your tribe, to the event to be able to be learning from Katie, learning from Molly Mahoney, learning from all these great partners that we have. But you have to have a list to begin with. So that 1,000 person tends to be the tipping point of having a list that actually allows you to get into some of those gift giveaways and summits. That's what, one of the focuses that I have is like everyone's been in it, that catch 22 of I really want to be in the summit, but I can't promote because I don't have enough people on my list,
That
but I
that's
can't get in the
exactly
list
it.
because I can't be in the summit. And
Exactly.
and you're just like, now you're in this like very frustrating circle.
Yeah. So what do you say to the business owner, the entrepreneur that thinks like I can't even get 100 people to sign up for my list. How am I supposed to get to 1,000? Like I want to be on this summit, but they have minimum of 5,000 email subscribers
Yeah.
and all that. So what do you what do
Yeah.
you say to that?
No, and that's like that's tough, and especially for, a solopreneur or, a business that's just starting out, because here's what not to do is throw money at Facebook ads, in my personal opinion, because that's a whole different skill set, and ability to scale, and ability like that's not the way to get your first 1,000 people, in my opinion. So one of the things that we've done is actually created a system that's a done for you gift giveaway and, lead magnet creation system, where we do all of the Facebook ads and YouTube ads and something, and you don't have to, and you also don't have to promote. So you're getting the leads in through your lead magnets and a gift giveaway, and you're able to build your business without being in that catch 22, right? So
Yeah.
without being in the I have to promote, but I can't promote, because I don't have the list. So we actually help you build that list. And the reason why we did that was we've all been there. Like I've been there. I've been in that circular logic of I want to build my list, but I can't build my list because I don't have a list. Like that doesn't even
Yeah.
make any sense. So that's, and it's so important because that's your first line of client intelligence, right? Is your tribe. So, when you have a poll question, when you have I'm thinking of this offer, or like, what are you guys struggling with? That's your first go-to is your list. And building that list and owning that list is in my opinion, business necessity. Like Facebook, for all honesty, you're renting the land,
Yep.
you're not getting the list. So stop renting, start owning. And ways to do that is by building your list. And it doesn't sound maybe as sexy as some other, like, 100 million followers. That's amazing, but if you can't turn them into tribe members, if you can't talk to them whenever you want to, and if you can't, like, like, give them value and content and know them well enough to move them along in your business and in your client journey, then I'm not sure what you're doing other than educating. And if that's what your metric is, then so be it, but that's not
Yeah.
necessarily business.
For sure. Yeah. But preaching to the choir here. So, you've built out some amazing AI tools. Let's talk some tools. What kind of AI powered lead magnets have you seen work? Like what do they look like and how is it different than the basic freebie?
So one of the reasons why I'm loving this new project that we have is because we're kind of innovating and changing how the gifts, I'm going to call it, the gifts look like, right? Because I don't know about you, but I have that folder, right, where PDF lead magnets go to die. I full intention of going back and
Yeah.
reviewing the material because I'm sure it's fantastic. But then you go back into the folder and it's got a weird, like like the name is saved weird and you have no idea, you don't remember who it was. And to be honest, it's overwhelming to go through it all and try to figure out what was what, so you end up deleting it, right? So, like, how about we don't have PDFs that go somewhere to die? Because the information that we do have and the intention that we have is good, but how do we make it interactive? And how do we make it so that it becomes that, slightly more personalized and customized, so that, like, every single person that downloads Lead Magnet doesn't get the exact same thing? It actually customized to what they are looking for, what your tribe member or your potential tribe member is trying to figure out for themselves. And that's where, like, that sounds awful if you're trying to do that manually, but if you can actually set up, some AI templates and AI help to do that, that's where the innovation comes in. And I
Mhm.
think that that's where, it becomes more valuable, because it's not a one size fit all. It's not a cookie cutter. It's a, wow, they listen to me. And it's more of a two-way conversation than it is an information dump.
Yeah. I and I think that I love that you said, the PDF folder where, things go to die. So
Sorry.
what it's because it's true. So what lead magnets do you think are working right now and which
Yeah.
ones should we leave in 2018?
Oh, wow. Okay. So lead magnets that are doing really well right now are templates, and checklists and even blueprints, but they're short, they're snappy. They're like the trick with a lead magnet or a trick with a free gift is you like as much intent as you put into, a full-on course, you need to put into what is the transformation that I'm trying to achieve with this whatever checklist, blueprint, whatever it is. What's the snack size little micro problem that you can get people a quick win on? Because if they can get a quick win, that's when you're having like, okay, great. That's value. I like they've gotten a win, that's value. It's not just information passed on, it's actual value that they can implement. So things like checklists and templates where things need to be left behind. Sorry folks, but your ebooks,
Yeah,
not so much. Anything longer than probably 3 pages, people are like, no, I'm out. Things that where you can mix the media, like if you can do a little bit of a video or an audio along with the reading, perfect. Straight out, here's a 25-minute something something, probably not. People just don't have the time. So
yeah,
bite-sized pieces, snack-size problems that give your tribe member or your potential tribe member a quick win, that's going to win.
totally. So now that we've got this great lead magnet and people are opting in, now what? How do you turn that subscriber into a fan? Not just someone that's on your list, but actually turning them into a fan.
That is the $1 million question, right? And it comes down to, I think it comes down to honestly mindset and intent. Are these your friends? Right? Are these people you want to hang out with? Are these people that you want to geek out with? Are these people that you want to share things with every day? Because if they're not, then I question, are you building a tribe or are you just building a list? Like
Yeah.
that's the difference, right? So your intent, your enthusiasm, your energy into connecting with them, as often as makes sense for your particular tribe. I think that that's where the difference comes in because the platforms will come and go, right? So whether you use Facebook or Instaloops or School or Circle, like, I mean, those are just platforms. They can, they've all got their pros and cons. And it's really about what, you know, what, hmm, what experience are you trying to create and allow your tribe to have with you? And if you can make it experiential and you can, kind of even up level to what's called a Disney experience, because Disney is known worldwide to have some of the best customer experiences known, then you'll I mean, it's a little bit of a build the experience and stay true to that, and people will react to that.
Yeah.
So don't just build a list and then just and please don't like as soon as they buy the lead magnet try to offer them a $25,000 something,
Yeah.
right? Because that's proposing marriage on the first date and it's creepy. Like there's a like court your the people in your tribe, like get to know them a little bit better,
Well,
get them
that's it. That's it. I love that you said court them. It's
yeah,
almost it's making that shift to establish trust.
yeah.
So what is one simple shift that someone could make in the email strategy that
Mhm.
would instantly create more trust? I mean, I think that podcasting is one of the best ways to establish trust with your ideal audience, but what do you think as far as email, because that's going out to a lot of people,
Mhm.
how can you instantly create more trust through an email?
So I think there's a couple ways. I think stories. Tell some stories. Tell stories that show vulnerability. Tell stories about how you got to where you are, about your family, about the dog, about like what happened today. Tell stories with the intent to connect back to, like, hey, if you're going through this or you're going through this challenge, like we're here to help. We're here to help serve and, like just let us know how we can help. I think so. Stories for sure. And podcasting is fantastic for stories. This is where people get caught up in the content over connection. Don't just spam a whole bunch of AI content because
Yeah.
everybody is doing that right now. And the thing is that AI is very generalized, right? AI is basically the whole internet is what is, powering those AI conversations. So we all start talking alike if we all use AI. And that's what you're seeing in a lot of social content right now, is that it's being mass produced in batches. And then people are starting to sound like each other without intending it. AI is a great brainstorming tool and a great way not to start with a blank sheet, but it still needs you, right? What's your
1000%.
special sauce? What's the sprinkle on top? Like, what's something that you only say? And again, I use AI every day, but at the end of the day, nothing goes out to my people that I haven't put my energy into.
At least your set of
And
eyes on to be like,
yeah,
is this something, would I say delve into this? No.
not only that, but AI has I mean, it's not perfect, and it can go down these like time zone or time warps, right? Like these AI hallucinations, that's real,
Hmm.
right? Where all of a sudden you're in a story and you're like, I would not ever share that. That
Yeah.
is not something that I would talk about. Like, what is that? It's not even real. So you need to be, you need to be cautious. And again, it's a tool in the toolkit. It's a very powerful tool. If you use it well, it can really propel your business forward and help you make those human connections, but you still have to make the human connections.
That's so true. It's so true. I mean, I think that in this world of AI, our you are invaluable. You have to be willing to stand out and create your story and share your story. I I think that's probably, in my opinion, that's one of the biggest mistakes that I see is so many people just copying and pasting AI.
Yeah.
And especially with social media, if we're just a bunch of AI generated text, being pushed out there, then like we've really lost the point of social media. What do you think is one of the biggest mistakes that you see a lot of people making when they're trying to build out their list or trying to attract their tribe?
So I think that people are afraid that they're going to bother their list, so they
Oh,
don't reach out and mail their list. I can tell you from the people that I've talked to that have done all the A/B testing and everything, some of the best lists or most responsive lists are emailing them 6 times a day, not 3 times a week, but 6 times a day. Now, I'm not saying that everyone go out there and start emailing 6 times a day, but by the same token, once a week is out of sight, out of mind, I think. The other thing that people tend not to do is, or they tend to only use their email when they have to promote something, right? So it's just a promotion machine, and then there's no value add. There's no stories. There's no. Now it's just like a true marketing push as opposed to a connection. And the third thing is just not having that consistency. It's like social media, right? Like if you're
yes.
not consistent, it's outside out of mind. Same with email marketing. So, having the right tone, having the right cadence for you. And I get that not everyone wants to be emailing, several times, but honestly, like the people that I'm talking to now, it's at least once a day.
Hmm.
And it can be, your Monday morning thought, your Tuesday tip, your Wednesday wonder, your Thursday thankfulness. What like you can create your universe the way that you want to create it. You know, bring your tribe along, and the
Yeah.
people that if you're geeked out and you're excited for it, then you'll do it. So
So
make sure that
what's
you're
what's
doing it. Yeah.
one thing that someone could do today after they're done listening to this episode? They could take this action and they're going to start attracting their people. They're going to start attracting their tribe.
I think telling your story in as many ways and in as many different ways as you possibly can. So booking podcasts, getting onto summits, getting onto gift giveaways, like being able to share the human of you, right? Like I'm doing this to try and connect to Jason, to Barbara, to Diane in order to help them do this because this is what I went through and I don't want you to go through the same thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, right? And you can do that in your email. You can like even though a lot of people tend to um, you know, share their story once in an email nurtured like in the welcome sequence and then never talk about it again, right? Like Katie, you and I have talked several times. I'm still getting to know you. Like it does, like it's not, you're not a one story wonder, right? So like share your stories and show that you're a person and that you're human and that, behind, here's the other thing is that people buy people and experiences. They don't buy brands, right? That's
Yeah.
why you see a lot of personal branding happening right now, around the bigger businesses is they're putting a face to the brand. And that's
Yeah.
because people want to buy from people, especially in the AI world.
Exactly.
So tell your stories. Stories are fantastic, and you don't get hung up that you're not a writer or you're not a public speaker. You can tell stories all sorts of different ways.
Well, Catherine, this has been an awesome conversation. So, how can people connect with you and learn more about you?
So everyone can absolutely go to joincianow.com, become a part of the client intelligence agency, and become an agent, of course, because that's fun. And then I'll have my email also in the show notes. But it's Catharine@CatharineO'Leary.com. Catherine with two A's in it. And yeah, just follow me on the show notes, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Well, this has been an awesome conversation, and I think it just reminds all of us that your first 1,000 fans, man, they're not just a goal; they really are the foundation of your business. That's how you grow with ease. That's how you grow without getting overwhelmed.
Thank you for having me again. I can't wait to come back.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I hope you're leaving with valuable insights and the inspiration to lead your market. If you've enjoyed our time together and found today's podcast episode useful, I have a small favor to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. And if you know someone who could benefit from these episodes, maybe a fellow business leader or an aspiring entrepreneur, go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Also, I'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Visit me at katiebrinkley.com to connect, to find more resources, or just to share your journey. And be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Social Shift, at katiebrinkley.com/book. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Katie Brinkley, and I can't wait to dive into more strategies and stories with you on the next episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Let's keep on taking your marketing to new heights.